About 2 years ago, Zach showed you and me how to shoot photos using the then flagship smartphone from OPPO, the Find X8 Pro. Today, we have with us its successor, the OPPO Find X8 Pro. Thanks to the advancements in camera hardware and software, you have more creative freedom when it comes to shooting photos on OPPO's latest flagship. So while I narrate the specs and features of the camera system on the OPPO Find X8 Pro, SoyaCincau's photographer Luqman will show us how to capture professional-grade mobile photos. We will cover 3 key aspects, which are framing or composition, choosing the ideal focal length for the scene, and shooting portraits.
Hi dude, thank you for having me. I'm excited to share my tips and tricks with you guys today.
Let's go!
Let's go!
So the first thing we're going to learn is composition, because it's one of the important parts of a photo. If you don't get the framing right, it's just not going to look nice. So Luqman, what can you tell us about composition?
For today, we're mainly going to focus on 3, which are rule of third, symmetry, and leading lines.
Okay.
So let's just go to the first example.
Okay.
In this line here, we can see there's a subject that we want to take. And any good photo, there's foreground, there's subject, and a background.
Got it.
So there's the foreground, the greens here are the foregrounds.
Okay.
The subject is in the middle, and the background is the background lah. All the buildings surrounding it is the background.
Okay, so the subject is the Capitol building.
Yes, that's true. So let's see, if we frame it like here, as you can see, symmetry means the subject is in the middle of the frame. We turn on the grid line, then we see, yes, symmetrical to the lines, just take the shot. There we go.
Oh wow, that's quite impressive. The pavilion building?
It's up to you actually how you want to frame it.
Okay.
For example here.
Yeah.
If you put it like this, we're looking at leading lines.
Okay.
So basically leading lines means the lines that leading up to the subject. Right?
I see.
So these are the lines that are coming into the subject. These are the lines.
Understood.
Yeah. So if you want to get a better framing, you can just play with the zoom.
Okay.
And look at the lines. Is it leading towards the subject that we're trying to take?
Okay.
Okay, it is. Yeah, then take the shot. So there's a clear subject here. Clear subject. And then the lines, then there's some foreground here, then the background is the sky.
So now we have Aisha as our human subject, and Luqman's going to show us how to shoot, how to frame using the rule of third with a person in the photo.
Having a subject in the rule of third is basically, what it means is basically just put the subject in one of the 3 lines here. There are 3 grids, right? There are 3 boxes here. So you just put the subject in between the lines, right here.
Yep.
From here, we can see that's the subject.
Yep.
We place them right onto the line here.
Okay.
You can play with the zoom a bit.
So the subject is towards the right in this case.
Towards the right in this case, okay? So we just take the picture. Yeah, and there we go.
Really gives you the depth perception, like she's in the front and then everything else is in the back.
So in this case, you actually plays with a few of the rules we went through just now.
Yeah.
So that's the rule of third.
Yeah.
And these are the leading lines towards the subject. So here's another example of composition with people in the frame. I'm going to show you guys how color also plays a very important role in framing. Okay, so we have Aisha here as the subject, and then we have some contrasting vibe at the back in contrast to Aisha's outfit for today. Then we have some greens at the back. We have some very nice looking background there. In 3, 2, 1, we take the shot.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, especially the greenery down there.
Yeah. So in this photo, as you can see, we also play with symmetry. We also play with leading lines, and then we also play with obviously color.
Finding the best composition or framing for your photos is straightforward on the OPPO Find X8 Pro, not because of the cameras, but because of the bright and vivid display. It doesn't matter if you're shooting outdoors on a bright day or in a dimly lit restaurant, the 6.7-inch quad-curved LTPO AMOLED display with a 1600 nits high brightness mode and 2160Hz PWM dimming for reduced flickering at low brightness ensures you can see every object and its details clearly in the scene. As Luqman said earlier, color plays an equally important role in composition. So it's great that the display on the OPPO Find X8 Pro underwent a rigorous multi-point color calibration during manufacturing to ensure consistent accuracy across the entire screen. This allows you to precisely distinguish the color palette in the framing to match the feel and vibe you wish to achieve. Okay, so now that we have covered composition and framing, it's time to find out which focal length to use for which scenes. And now we're gonna start off with the ultra-wide camera, which is 0.6x on the OPPO Find X8 Pro. We are here at Surya KLCC. So what is the best scene to use ultra-wide for?
For ultra-wide angles, it's more of like you want to get as wide as you can. You want to get as much as you can. But in every good photo, like I mentioned before, you have to have a foreground, subject, and a background. So in this case, you have the KLCC as the subject, right?
Okay.
So what you want to do is to go up and get leveled with...
Oh, that looks nice.
Yes, and it will look, you snap that photo, and then there you go. It will look as natural as possible. In ultra-wide angles, you're not limited to just doing that. You can also get creative with it. One thing I like to do is get low.
Okay.
If you want to get a good photo, just get low as possible, as close to the ground as possible. Look whether it's leveled. Go up a bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's a different kind of perspective from the original photo.
You want to get creative with it. So you have the fountains, you have the water as the foreground, then you have the subjects, and then the background.
Yeah, from this angle, the buildings look much taller.
That's how ultra-wide angles shapes your perspective. That's how it shapes your perspective.
For shooting expansive landscape, large groups, or creative close-up shots, the 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera with a 15mm equivalent focal length is the best choice. Unlike some flagship smartphones, the ultra-wide camera here uses a high-resolution 50 megapixel ISO-cell JN5 sensor with an f2.0 aperture with autofocus. Go close enough to a subject and the ultra-wide camera automatically switches to macro mode. Macro photos are stunning all on their own. Just ensure your subject is adequately lit to get the best shots. Right, so just now we took a look at the ultra-wide angle, so now we are going to the wide-angle lens.
Wide-angle lens is actually the 1x.
Okay.
The 1x is basically like your point-and-shoot focal length. It's basically your daily driver. The KLCC will be our subject in this case.
Okay.
So for wide-angle, let's place it right there.
So this one you're playing with symmetry because you have the twin towers in the center, the one building on the left, one building on the right, and then the bridge going across at the bottom, which is basically the foreground.
Wow, he's gotten good at this. That's good, that's good.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we're taking symmetrical composition,
Okay.
and just the 1x, just point, and shoot.
Oh, wow.
So you have the foreground, you have the subject, and then you have the background.
Oh, that looks nice.
It's very sharp.
For those times when you need to fit a large and small object in the same frame, the 50 megapixel wide camera is the best choice. It features a Sony LYT-808 sensor with a f1.6 aperture, 23mm equivalent focal length, and most importantly, optical image stabilization for stable shots. Thanks to the high-resolution sensor, you can reframe and crop photos without a big hit to image quality. This is the best camera for everyday photos. Okay, as you can see right now, we have walked quite some distance from KLCC, and that's because we want to demonstrate the telephoto cameras on the OPPO Find X8 Pro.
On your other phones, you get digital zoom, so you lose some of the quality. But on this phone, both the 3x, 6x, you get optical zoom, so you don't lose any of the quality. So don't be afraid to shoot from a distance. This is 3x.
Whoa, that's really close up. Considering how far we are right now from KLCC, but on the phone, right, it's like we are really right up there with KLCC Tower.
So when you line up your shot, you frame it, then you just take the shot. There you go.
Oh, that's nice. Whoa!
Let's try to demonstrate on your 6x.
Alright, so this is 6x.
So now it's 3x, we go to 6x.
Ooh,
Line it up. Just take a shot.
I mean the detail. The detail in the photo. OPPO is going big with the zoom capabilities of this phone with the dual periscope telephoto cameras, a first in a smartphone. Both cameras feature a resolution of 50 megapixel, Sony sensors and optical image stabilization. But where they differ is in lens architecture. The telephoto camera with the 73mm equivalent focal length uses a triple prism periscope design with a f2.6 aperture, while the 135mm equivalent focal length unit uses a standard periscope design with a f4.3 aperture. So, photos shot at 3x and 6x zoom come out sharp and detailed as there's no sensor cropping workaround. But for those times when you need to shoot objects further away, the Find X8 Pro utilizes AI to help maintain clarity. OPPO's AI Telescope Zoom, which activates automatically at 10 times zoom, uses computational photography to enhance details lost in extreme zoom, delivering sharp images even at 60 times magnification.
Did you know that not only distant objects that we can shoot with the telephoto camera, but also we can shoot portraits to get that shallow depth of field? I'm gonna give you an example. Asha, okay, stay Asha. We go to the telephoto 3x, and just 1, 2, 3, take that shot.
Cool. What about 6x?
Oh, let's try. I'm gonna get lower here. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
so cool. You can use the telephoto. Yeah, you get the shallow depth of field.
Because it's because of the focal length, because we changed our focal length. So because of that, it gives you that nice shallow depth of field.
A good focus on the subject.
Yep, that's true. Good to know.
He's zooming into our faces, right?
Yeah. Aku dah tahu dah.
Besides taking photos of distant objects, these telephoto cameras can also be used for portrait photography. Their focal length aperture combo creates a shallow depth of field, perfectly separating the focused subject from the out of focus background. Okay, but what if I want to shoot portraits, but I don't want to zoom in? I want like a full body, but still get the blurred effect at the background.
Then you can switch to portrait mode. In portrait mode, it gives you that nice bokeh effect without actually zooming in. Let me give you an example. So when you switch to portrait mode, you have the flexibility to choose the aperture value, which is strong or weak.
Okay.
If you go strong, the lower the number, it gives you a stronger bokeh effect. If you go weak, the higher the number, it gets more things in focus.
Got it.
Unlike a traditional camera, changing this value doesn't affect the brightness of the image.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's easier to shoot.
It's easier to shoot.
Okay.
So
which f value you recommend for this shot?
for this shot, I will go for that 1.4 to get that strong bokeh effect at the background. So you line them up, frame your shot, just take the shot. There you go. It gives you the separation between the subject and your background. Very nicely.
But we can zoom in, right?
Yeah, we can zoom in and you get the
sample.
nicer one. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Whoa, that's nice.
There you go. That's a stronger bokeh effect actually.
Hasselblad's legacy of photographic excellence shines in the OPPO Find X8 Pro's portrait mode. With 4 distinct focal lengths, including the rare 135mm optical portrait mode and advanced subject segmentation, this feature ensures natural bokeh and precise isolation of details like hair and fine objects. Since this mode simulates the shallow depth of field, you can set the bokeh intensity by adjusting the aperture value without worrying about exposure or the focus area. If you notice that we were pressing on the frame of the phone instead of the shutter icon on the screen to snap the photos, that's because there's a capacitive touch surface which OPPO calls the quick button. You can swipe across it to zoom in or out, press it to snap a photo, and double press it to launch the camera from the home screen. I hope you picked up a thing or two about mobile photography from Luqman in this video. Thank you, Luqman, for sharing your expertise with us today.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Whether you're a professional creator, an enthusiast, or simply someone who loves capturing life's moments, the OPPO Find X8 Pro ensures every shot is extraordinary.
You can find more details on the OPPO Find X8 Pro with the link in the description. Well, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and if you haven't already, do consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X for the latest news on almost everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!